Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I, 55 male, met my wife, 49 female, 14 years ago, and have been married 10 years. When I met her, she was divorced from her first husband for 2 years, and they had a daughter who was 10 at the time. I was never married before, nor have any kids, and me and my wife don't have any kids between us. When I came into their life, my stepdaughter Andrea was clear I won't be a dad to her because her real dad was active in her life. I guess you can call him active, more deadbeat, jobless, never paid child support. I was okay with this, and my wife, though wished for a more dad-daughter relationship for us, eventually came around, was okay for us to be friends, where I was an adult figure in the house, but she handled all parenting decisions with her ex. Eventually, over the years, I stepped up, going to her plays and games and events when her dad flaked, or outright went MIA for weeks. She was grateful, and we formed a strong bond. Of course, whenever her dad came around, she threw me to the side, and it did hurt, but I never let her know about it. She went off to college. I paid 30%, and I didn't mind. It was a gift for her from me, and her mom covered the rest. But we drifted a little apart, but I knew she was in touch with her dad whenever he showed up. 7 months back, she announced her engagement to a guy she had been dating for a while, and we were all happy for her. The first thing she told us was I wouldn't walk her down the aisle. I didn't expect it, nor would she dance with me. I was a guest as her mom's husband. My wife was very angry, and I was sad she was treating me as a second-class human. But I said, fine, your wedding, your choice. I'm not paying for it anyway. Stepdaughter said a bigger man would have, and I told her I guess I'm not a big man like her dad. With the wedding 3 months away, we found out her deadbeat dad got arrested for some type of fraud and most likely headed to jail. Of course, now he will most likely miss the wedding, as he's a felon and a loser, and my stepdaughter's been a mess about it. A few days later, she asked me for lunch and said she would love it if I would walk her down the aisle, and how much I meant for her, and blah, blah, blah. I told her I was sick of her using me as a backup device, who had no feelings, and while I had stepped up earlier when she was younger, I won't now, and said thanks for the offer, but I'm not interested in being part of the wedding. She exploded, called me names, and ran out of the restaurant. My wife has been kinda cold since, and while she understands where I'm coming from, she wants me to be the bigger man and do what her daughter wants. I'm wondering if I'm the a-hole in my response, and should I just let it go and do the needful thing, so she has a wonderful wedding? Well, it's obvious that if he gets out before her wedding, OP will be rudely kicked to the side again, being told he's not worth anything in her life. This whole be the bigger man nonsense is straight up manipulation. Mom could have OP's back and tell daughter this is her own fault for treating OP like he is disposable. And if she wants even a smell of a chance having OP in the wedding, she needs to apologize and beg forgiveness. Instead, she's trying to sweep it under the rug. She's not being a good mom, nor a stand-up partner. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Glimmer Seeker says, not the a-hole. Be the bigger man. Keep the peace. Let it go. All phrases used to guilt and manipulate the person who is being slighted or used to keep being manipulated. Your stepdaughter made it very clear you were to be only a guest at her wedding. Now that deadbeat is out of the picture again temporarily, she's running back to you. Don't do it. You'll set yourself up for all the daddy roles, expected to pay for everything. Then when bio dad is back, you'll get kicked to the curb again. Your wife should be supporting you, not her daughter in disrespect and manipulation of you. Sorry you're going through this. Fickle Pickle says, not the a-hole. She regularly disregards your feelings in favor of bio dad, but still expects you to pick up the ball anytime he, inevitably, doesn't follow through. She preemptively distances herself from you without you asking. The dance, walk down the aisle, only a husband, etc. OP, you've been nice enough to her, have shown up for her over and over again, even paying for her tuition. I think it's time to sit down with her and have a conversation about what kind of relationship she wants with you going forward. You are not a toy to be tossed around. Both Ad 1586 says, no, I don't think so. Not the a-hole. This girl could be a sympathetic character when she was a child, starved for some affection from her deadbeat father. But by the time she was getting married, she was a grown woman who should have understood the truth about her dad. She treated you really disrespectfully, and I don't think you should let her walk all over you anymore. I, male 25, met my now ex-fiancé in my first year of college. We were both 18 and went from friends to lovers pretty quickly. We clicked so well, and everything was so easy and effortless. We had a really good relationship. It's the kind of relationship that everyone wishes they were in. The kind of relationship that people idolized and said if those two broke up, then love doesn't exist. You get the picture. For the purpose of this post, let's call my ex Ashley. Ashley was everything I was looking for in a woman. Funny, smart, attractive, down to earth, and family-oriented. She wanted to build a life together. Our families got close over the course of our relationship. It was like we're already one big family before even getting married. As planned, I popped the question a year ago, not knowing that this would change everything. She said yes, of course, but things started to change. Slowly but surely, over the months, she became more distanced. I tried to ignore it and chalk it up to nervousness. You know, cold feet before taking the big marriage plunge. I should have trusted my instincts. She always went out with her group of friends on the weekends. I've been on these outings before. Usually it's clubbing and drinking. It's not my scene, but I trusted my girl, so I had no problem with her going without me. These outings became much more frequent after I popped the question. I tried to ignore my gut feeling that something was wrong about this. I should have listened. Last week, I got a text from one of her girlfriends. She said she feels super guilty about what's been going on. According to her, Ashley has been worried about getting married. She feels that she hasn't had a chance to explore other options, and the prospect of getting locked down for life made her really anxious. On these outings, she will frequently flirt with guys, dance with them, grind on them, make out with them, to get it out of her system. Since she wasn't having sex with them, she didn't consider it cheating. She sent me pictures and videos of some of those escapades. My heart sank. I felt like I died that day. I thanked the friend for telling me and told her to keep it between us. For me, any form of cheating is a big no. I knew it was over. What makes this worse is that I have a past with cheating. She knows about my high school ex who cheated on me, and being a stupid teenager, I tried to end it all. This just makes this whole situation cut even deeper. She knows how much hurt she could cause, and still went ahead with it. I wanted to crawl into bed and cry for a month. I wanted to be weak. I felt weak. I decided I would give myself the chance to mourn and cry over this after I protect myself. Me and my fiancé share an apartment that we both pay rent for 50-50. I decided to take 2 days off work and covertly started to move my things out to my brother's house across the city. He knows about everything and immediately offered his place to me. The first day, I moved non-essential items out. When Ashley got back from work, she made a comment about it, but I brushed it off by saying I sold some stuff and took some more stuff to a storage unit to tidy and clear space in our apartment. She didn't question it. I was furious on the inside about everything that I found out about, but kept cool to avoid suspicion. She noticed I was a bit withdrawn, but I told her I was just tired and stressed from work. The second day, while she was at work, my brother and his wife came over to help me pack everything else, and I was fully moved out by 3 p.m. that day. Since then, I've avoided every single form of communication sent by my ex. I've completely cut her off. I refuse to talk to her or her family. I don't even want to confront her about what happened. She came home that day and saw everything was gone. She texted all my friends and family, who in turn texted me. But I only responded to my parents, who are fully behind me in my decision. Her family and friends are blowing up my phone and saying that I'm an a-hole for leaving without a word. They've even been blasting me on social media. I don't really care. She knows what she did. To me, she is dead. She doesn't exist. Because of all this backlash, my brother and his wife are now also questioning if it was right of me to completely ignore everyone. This has caused me to doubt myself a bit. So here I am. Am I the a-hole here? Well, I think OP disappearing like that puts himself in a vulnerable position. He should explain to her family and friends what happened and why he is leaving. Otherwise, she can make stories, even accusing OP of being the one who cheated. PKMN trainer Al-Hawri says, "Not the a-hole for cutting her out, but honestly, you need to tell everyone she cheated. No point taking the blame for what she caused. Tell them, block them, move on." OK Season 3433 says, "You need to tell her that you know all about the cheating, and then tell her family that she cheated on you. You deserve to preserve your reputation, and you are in no way the a-hole or bad guy in this situation." Questionable Basis says, "You ain't the a-hole, but you could at least explain yourself. What if her friend is just making stuff up and jealous of you? Or wants you single for other reasons? She might be jealous, or want her friend to date one of her other friends. She may want to date you, etc. It's always best, especially if you were truly willing to spend forever with her, to give her a chance to explain herself and/or apologize prior to ghosting. It makes it easier years later to look back and feel closure." Update. After an overwhelming amount of people screamed at me in the comments to speak out, I decided to break my silence. I didn't want to make this whole thing public. Despite what she did, some part of me still cares for her. I was with her for 6 years. You can't just throw that away overnight. I came to the conclusion that the right thing to do was to talk to her parents. Only her family needed to know. Everyone else can have whatever opinion they want of me. I don't care. The people who truly know me and are close to me are the only ones I care about. I sent a detailed message of what happened to my closest friends and family. All of them, of course, believed me right away. No pictures needed. I didn't feel it was necessary or appropriate to spread those pictures of her, so I didn't. Now that the people I cared about were sorted, I moved on to her parents. I messaged her mom, who, by the way, I had gotten close to, and I considered her a second mom, and she considered me a son. She was very upset with me, but agreed to meet up. I felt like this needed to be an in-person conversation, rather than a nuke I drop in an email with everyone they know CC'd. I met her mom and dad at a diner we used to frequent for breakfast. I know, so cliché. It was quite emotional. They were understandably upset. They didn't do anything wrong, and I cut them out of my life like nothing happened. I understood why they were upset, so when they were confronting me, I was very quiet, just listening, letting them get it all out. I admit I was tearing up with them. That is until they accused me of some things. It's been a whole week since all of this went down. In that week, a lot happened. Apparently, according to her parents, my ex convinced everyone that I cheated and that she kicked me out. And I haven't been answering anyone because I was so ashamed of what I had done. I literally laughed out loud. I responded by saying that I'm sorry and I wished them a happy life and walked out. I was so upset. I couldn't even have imagined being accused of this. What a joke. I can't believe her parents would believe her and throw me under the bus so fast. I walked out because I'm pretty sure I would have said some things I'd regret to her parents. I didn't want to do this, but she left me no choice. I activated the nuclear option. I went home, made an email titled "For Your Reading Pleasure," and attached every picture her friend sent me, including screenshots of the chat with her friend where she expressed how guilty she felt about the cheating. I also attached the videos of her grinding and making out with other guys. I included a long explanation detailing everything that has happened since D-Day. I ended the email by saying that I do not wish to be contacted and that I expect my ring back at some point. I attached her parents, any friend I could think of, and a coworker that I just so happened to know as well. Duck it. So that's where I'm at now. I may be the a-hole for sending that email, but she really tested my limits when I found out what she was telling people. I have zero regrets. Currently crashing at my brother's place on the pull-out couch. He's helping me get through this, as much as one can, I guess. Who knows what kind of fallout that email will create. Either way, I'm gonna sit back and enjoy it with popcorn, whilst sobbing. Edit 2. The fallout after I sent that nuke of an email was catastrophically hilarious. My phone was blowing up with my ex's friends and family, asking me tons of questions. Before I had sent that email, everyone was under the impression that I was a cheater and was kicked out. That email not only cleared my name, it basically turned everyone against my ex. Rumors of what had happened started circulating at her job. I attached one of her coworkers to the email if you remember from my last update. Apparently, she couldn't take the embarrassment and ended up quitting. Her parents were less than impressed and refused to take her back in. They reached out to me and apologized for the way things went down. They recognized that they didn't have all the facts and judged me too quickly. I'm cool with them now. They told me that my ex was struggling to make payments for her half of the rent. When I covertly moved out, I contacted our landlord and explained the situation. We only had 3 left on the lease, so I paid my half for those 3 months, so I'm in the clear. Honestly, it was worth it even though I'm not living there. Our mutual friends also didn't take too kindly to being lied to and basically being manipulated to hate me. From what I've heard, most of our shared friends don't talk to her anymore. Even some of her girlfriends who knew what had been happening behind my back stopped talking to her. which is a little ironic if you ask me. I guess now that everything was public, no one wanted to be associated with her. And speaking of her friends, remember the one that initially came forward to me about this because she felt so bad? Yeah, so we're dating now. I guess through all the trauma, drama, and craziness, we started texting more and more. At first, she was just very supportive. She comforted me and helped me come to terms with what happened. But slowly and surely, we became closer and closer and started to talk about our lives, our interests, our dreams. But slowly and surely, we became closer and closer and started to talk about our lives, our interests, our dreams. We realized we had a lot in common. We were also both single and young. We kind of just fell right into it naturally. She's honestly so great, very kind and loving. I am aware that some people may think this is just a rebound, but I'm really enjoying my time with her and things are going great. I feel great. Since everything went down, I've had no contact with my ex. I've heard through multiple friends that she is livid that I ghosted her and won't even talk to her. She says what I'm doing to her is torture because I won't even give our relationship closure. I just laughed because if she thinks what I'm doing is torture, then she's clueless about what she put me through. I'm honestly good. I will go the rest of my life without ever talking to her again. Call me petty, call me dumb. I am who I am, and I feel this is right. As for me, life is looking good. I'm dating an amazing girl. I've gotten so much support from my family and friends. It's nice to see who the real ones are. You know, the ones that actually stuck with me through this whole ordeal. And best of all, I feel like I'm really moving on from this whole thing.